Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars, and today we're going to talk about the Q4 earnings report from Dropbox. You ready? Let's get started. So, this channel is all about using online print-on-demand platforms like Merch by Amazon and Etsy to increase our income from things we make online and invest this income in things like the stock market and real estate to build financial freedom for ourselves and our families. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, we have an earnings report coming up from Dropbox on February 18th. I actually know it this time because, the last video that I put up as far as DBX goes, talking about their earnings report, the date's a little bit muddied around and we still don't know exactly when DBX is going to report earnings, but we know for sure that Dropbox is reporting earnings February 18th because they put it out. So, what can we expect from Dropbox's earnings? Well, not that much. I'm going to get into it a little bit on this video, but what we can expect from Dropbox's earnings is likely going to be matching or a slight beat of the earnings, because the analysts have definitely upgraded their prediction of what the earnings per share is going to be as far as Dropbox, and now it's likely going to be what it is per Dropbox. So that isn't really the news we want to hear, because whenever you get a huge beat in earnings, and that means the share price goes up, and it brings a whole lot of attention to the stock. But right now we're just kind of in a situation where it's likely going to be the same as what it was, or the same as the analyst earnings expectations. However, the Q1 of 2021 earnings report is what we really should be thinking about, because what has Dropbox done this year that has really put themselves in an incredible position to beat revenues in Q1? Well, they eliminated 11% of their entire global workforce. Now, this sounds like a terrible thing, especially if you're part of that 11% that got let go. However, what does it mean whenever a business is able to let go of 11% of their workforce, whenever they actually didn't need to? It means you have more showing up on the bottom line. So Q1 of 2021 is going to probably be a pretty remarkable time of earnings for Dropbox, because a lot of that, I don't want to call it waste, but a lot of the stuff, the excess that they were using, is now going to be transferred to the bottom line, which is going to show up as more profit for Dropbox and more earnings per share. Now, this is more of a alignment of the goals of Dropbox as far as who they are as a company. They are mainly moving towards being a company that is not focused on being in a central location, but having workers who are able to be anywhere in the world. This is a great thing, number one, because it doesn't mean that people have to move somewhere in order to work for Dropbox if they're not able to move somewhere. And Dropbox is able to go and bring those jobs to those people in those areas of the world that need those jobs and are the best positioned for those jobs. So this is going to be a great thing in Q1, but for right now in Q4, we're going to have to probably get used to a not so hyped up earnings report for Dropbox on February 18th. Now, there are some things that we do need to talk about as far as why Dropbox isn't really doing the best that it can be right now. Now, it's been a little bit of a decline, not a decline, but it's traded sideways for a good portion of 2020 and now into 2021. And this is likely due to the fact that Dropbox IPO was around the decline of its hype as well. Dropbox peaked around, I think, 2014, and then just has steadily declined in popularity after that. But they got a ton of users in on, around that 2014 time period. But with Chrome introducing things like, their Google Drive, Microsoft has their workspaces as well, they're able to undercut Dropbox as far as price, and the workflow is basically the same. So it means that Dropbox is not as well positioned to be the leader in this industry. However, they have, I think, around 30% of the market share if you're looking at online workspaces and file sharing. So what does this mean for the future of Dropbox, and can we actually expect to see the price of Dropbox go up in the future? Well, yes, but it's not going to be the hype beast that other stocks have been. If you follow my channel, Ametis has gone up almost 200% in 2021. Vuzix has gone up over 100%, close to 200% since the end of 2020 into 2021. And Hyliion is one of those that I'm also excited about that I think is going to take off towards the end of 2021. However, Dropbox is one of those stocks, and I'll link to those videos here, or you can go check them out on the channel, Dropbox is one of those stocks that is going to be a very boring play. It is a revenue growth beast that is going to just take off and is basically unstoppable. I'll reference the video that I did over here on why I think that Dropbox is easy money. But to sum that video up, the fact that the file size for all files for all file types, if you film on an iPhone, if you take a picture, if you create a file or create a document within, Adobe or the Photoshop, and Adobe and Photoshop are the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. File sizes are just getting bigger. There is no reduction or compression of file sizes in the future. This is because the resolution and the quality of files is improving, which is great for us. However, that means that the free storage that you get, it's not quotes free storage, but it is free storage you get from Dropbox, but you only have a certain amount. So what's going to happen in the future is likely that as file sizes increase, the amount of free storage you get from Dropbox isn't going to be enough. So the people who have their businesses set up within Dropbox within the free area, they're going to have to move into the paid version because the file sizes are just getting bigger, and it's a huge headache to actually transition all of your stuff into a different platform. So if you had all your stuff in Dropbox and you were on the verge and you were at that limit of digital space, it would be a huge headache to transition to Google. And Dropbox isn't that expensive, and for what you're going to get that we're going to talk about, it's really going to be a huge benefit to just stay with Dropbox, and it's a lot less of a headache. So what is it that Dropbox is able to offer people that really is going to keep them around? Well, the fact that they don't have to move any of their stuff anywhere is one of the main things, but Dropbox is creating an incredible platform for people to work on. They're adding things like apps and HelloSign that integrate with programs that a lot of people use to do business around the world. I'll link to the deal they just did with a company as far as editing PDFs and whatnot. And I'll also throw up a screenshot of what companies that Dropbox works with, because Dropbox works with a ton of companies that work as plugins. So what this means is that it wouldn't be, in my opinion, smart to not have anything stored on your computer and just put on Dropbox now, but you have that option. This could be a source of an online server, basically. So when you get Dropbox, you not only get the Teams aspect of Dropbox, the paid storage, and the plugins for all your apps, you now have a potential online server. Now, I believe that businesses should still have a physical server that they work off of, because that is just smart, and it's better to have something physical than to have the cloud, because what if the cloud goes away one day? But this is an opportunity for everything to be backed up to the cloud and for people to work off of that, and basically you can just have the cloud automatically back up to a physical server every day if you want to. I personally would do that, but I think you get what I'm saying here, is that Dropbox is giving people who might not have access to a physical server the ability to have an online server where people can work from all of those documents online. Because from being a digital, in the digital communications area, I'm a communications director, we have to work with, or whenever we do use Dropbox to send people files, it is much easier and you make a lot less mistakes whenever you're able to work from those files through the plugins like Dropbox, where you can actually work from the Photoshop file you have in Dropbox instead of saving that file to your computer, dragging it in Dropbox, and you don't know, okay, is the file that's in Dropbox the one that we're actually working on, or is that the one that we've edited? Is the one that's on our computer the right one? Instead, just having one file that you're working off in Dropbox and making edits there, it is so much cleaner and simpler. Now, that's a long description for the great benefits of Dropbox and the things that they're doing in the future, but the fact that Dropbox is in this position and they have everything going on is putting them in an incredible position to have a resurgence of value in the future, because they're going to offer things that I haven't seen in Chrome and that I haven't seen in Windows, as far as the ability to have an online workspace. So, yes, Dropbox has a future, but Dropbox is not by any means a hype stock. Dropbox is going to be one of those that knows how to convert people to the paid platform, and they do it successfully over and over, and eventually the millions of users they have are going to become paid users, and they just need to get a little bit of a grip on how to get more free users in that can then be converted to paid users. So that's going to come from basically the business team. And what do we know about the business team? Well, the CEO is on the board of directors of Facebook. The COO has worked at Google before, and their communications officer worked at Square. So to say that this company is steeped in the Silicon Valley just dream team of people would be a drastic understatement. Now, this company is, like I said, steeped in the just Silicon Valley dream team area. The CEO is on the board of directors. Do you think that they have any difficulty bringing the right talent or the right ideas or the right fundamentals to a business in the future? I don't think so. So while earnings are going to be a little slim right now for Dropbox in Q4 of 2020, the future for this company is incredibly bright. And even though the stock has traded sideways for the last, I don't know, maybe a year, I think that we are on the brink of expanding into a bigger echelon. And while we're still waiting for Wall Street to take notice of the amazing success of Dropbox and maybe upgrade that PE ratio a little bit, we can wait and buy up the shares. Anything under $20, in my opinion, is a great buy. And again, let me express that this is all my opinion. Everything I've said before this is just my opinion, and everything I'm going to say after this is just my opinion. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I am not a financial advisor. Before you make any official financial investments, talk to a licensed professional financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Everything I've said before this and everything I'm saying after this is just my opinion. So that is my opinion on Dropbox and what we can likely expect from the earnings report in February 18th. So let me know what you guys think. Are you invested in Dropbox? Where do you see Dropbox heading in the future? Do you think Dropbox has a bright future at all, or do you think Dropbox is going to somehow crater into the ground? I would love to get to know you. Drop a comment below. Let me know who you are if you're invested. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and remember, someone is going to do something amazing every day. Why not you? See ya.